Hey guys, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use clipping masks in Procreate. So to get started, just open up Procreate, create your new canvas, and I am going to be doing the like those block doodle letters that you see a lot of. I can't draw them, so I actually purchased a set. And I'm just going to go in and insert all of these letters. I want to spell out the word Easter because I'm going to do a happy Easter image. So I'm just going to go through and insert everything. I'm actually going to turn on my drawing guide, which gives you the grid. That way I can make sure that everything is lined up and, you know, the same size and it's all proportionate and all of that. I am going to speed this up a little bit just because it does take a little bit of time to import everything and get it all sized up and positioned kind of, you know, how I want it and all of that. And now that I've got everything lined up where I want it, I'm going to turn the grid back off because I don't like it. And then I inserted another layer, and I want that layer to be behind the outline of my E. So I just tap and hold it and then drag it down. Scrolling through the several palettes I have to find the Easter palette that I want to use. And then I'm just gonna go in and kind of fill in that E so that I can create the clipping mask. Again, I'm gonna fast forward through this quite a bit because it takes a little bit of time to go through and outline everything. You don't have to necessarily worry about getting everything you know, getting your lines perfectly straight because you do have that black outline, which is gonna, you know, make your lines look clean. So here I am just going through and coloring everything in, or filling everything in. And then I am gonna use the color drop once I get my outline done. And then to do a clipping mask, you are going to insert a file. For this one, I've got a digital scrapbook paper that's got a bunch of Easter eggs on it, so I'm going to use that one. And then just insert the file just like you would any other file. Size it down to where it just barely covers the letter. Then you're going to click on it and then click clipping mask. And then I wanted more eggs to show, so I sized it down just a little bit by using the arrow and then selecting freeform. That way I can move it in both directions. And then now that my E is done, I'm going to go in and do the same thing to my A. I'm going to select a color and I'm just going to go in and fill in the A just like I did the E. And then for this one, I want to use, I want the A to be glitter. So again, insert a file, select the file that you want. I'm gonna go with this really light pastel green that I've got. And then I want it to be more fine glitter, so I sized it down quite a bit. Click on that layer, or make sure that layer's, tap on that layer, I'm sorry, and then the menu will pop up and you'll see the clipping mask option. Just click that and then that'll clip it to the shape. Then I'm gonna go in and color in my S, just like I've done with everything else. At this point in the video, I haven't decided what I want to do with the S just yet. So I don't do anything once I get it filled in. I'm actually going to move on to the T and fill in the T and get that colored in, just so I have a visual for my color scheme that I'm going with. And then somehow I ended up with the little purple outside of my S. So I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to size my eraser way down, and then I'm going to erase that, go back to my layer for my T. I'm going to start filling it in. I was having issues with making sure my lines were closed on my T. I couldn't figure out where I didn't have a closed line in, or a closed line at, so I did go through and actually color all of that in. And again, I have no idea what I'm doing with this letter just yet, so I'm gonna leave it as is, and then move on to the rest of my letters and getting them all colored in and everything. And then this one, I am actually gonna do another glitter. I'm gonna do a like a pastel purple for this one. Once you have it colored in, go up to your wrench, insert a file, select the color or pattern that you want. And again, I wanted it to be fine glitter, so I sized it down quite a bit. Click on it, and then select clipping mask. And then for the R, I wanted the R to match the capital E. So I'm gonna go through and actually insert that egg pattern again as well. So just color this one in, get it ready for your clipping mask. I'm just gonna go in and finish filling this in. And then once I've got it filled in, I'm going to go back up to my wrench, insert a file, go over to my egg pattern, size it down, tap on that layer, select clipping mask, and then for my T, I think I'm gonna go with a plaid. I don't have a yellow plaid like I wanted, but I do have a plaid brush. So I'm actually gonna go down and select my plaid brush. And then on my layers, on the layers tab, I'm gonna make sure that I have the yellow T selected, and then I'm actually gonna select Alpha Lock. This will allow me to color over just the yellow part without going outside of it. And I actually don't really like the black with the yellow. So I'm gonna go in and I'm going to actually change that black to a darker yellow. I'm gonna change that black to a darker yellow. I think the black was just a little too dark for the rest of the color scheme of this image. And then I'm gonna go down to my S, and I'm gonna turn the alpha lock on it as well. And for this one, I'm gonna do polka dots. So I'm gonna go through and make my circles. And with the alpha lock being on, again, it lets me stay on just that purple without going outside of it, which will save me from having to go through and erase a bunch of stuff. Making these polka dots did take a little bit of time, so I'm actually going to speed this up quite a bit. But just go through and make your circles, fill them in, and there's no right or wrong way to make polka dots. So do it however you want to do it. And now that I've got this all designed and colored the way that I want it, I'm gonna go and merge my layers. I like merging my clipping masks first before I merge my like the outline. So to merge, you're just gonna hover your fingers over the two layers that you want to merge and just pinch them together. And then I'll go through and I'll put everything inside of a group. And to do that, just grab your layer and hover it over another layer, and then just move them all down underneath of where it says new group. And now that you've got this all in a group with the new group selected, you can now move everything together, and it'll stay proportionate, and it'll move together. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to insert my happy. The font that I used with this is called Felicia, and I will link that in the description as well. You can get it on design bundles or font bundles. And then I'm going to size it up to how I want it by using the little arrow and dragging it out. I want this to fit in between the E and the T. So I'm going to size it to where it fits just in between there, and then I'm going to rotate it just a little bit to make it a little bit straighter. And I'm going to change the color to pink. And I'm going to take the happy and move it down into my group so that it's all now together. And now it'll all move and resize together, and you won't lose any of your scaling or sizing or anything like that. And then I'm going to take this empty layer and bring it back behind my E so that I can make a background to this image. And I'm actually going to use my jagged brush, which is a brush that comes with Procreate. And then since I'm going to be using a clipping mask for this, it doesn't really matter what color you go with, because that color's, going to be masked by your background or by the file that you choose to do. For this one, I'm going to go with a wood grain. So once I've got my background put how I want it, I'm going to go back up to my wrench and insert a file. Then I'm going to go over to where all of my wood digital paper is at. I'm not really sure what I was thinking with selecting this blue at first, but I do end up changing it here in just a second. I was hoping the blue was going to work because I really wanted to put some blue in with this, but it just did not work for this image. So I'm just going to go with your typical whitewashed wood. I'm going to size it down to where it just barely covers those jagged brush strokes. And then I'm going to size it out, go back up to the layers tab, tap on it, and then select clipping mask. And then if I turn the background layer off, you can see it a lot better. Sorry for the interruption from my daughter in the background. Changed the pink text to black because I didn't think that it showed up very well. And then I changed the background layer, the background color, so that I could see where I was actually working at a lot better. And then I want to go in and add some glitter onto the little squiggly marks on all of these letters. So I did create another layer, and then I'm just going to go through and trace over the little squiggly marks. Again, it doesn't really matter what color you use because we're going to do a clipping mask with a gold digital paper anyways. I just went with something that was going to show up, you know, pretty bright over the black so that I could see what I was doing and where I was going. Fast forwarding a little bit, once I've got all of my squiggly marks done, I'm going to go back up to my wrench, insert a file, and then go and select the gold that I want to use. I could have left it this size, but I did want a finer gold glitter. So I sized it down pretty small, and then I'm actually going to duplicate it by swiping to the left and then clicking duplicate. And then I'm just going to move these over so that it covers my entire image. And then I'm going to merge these layers by using 2 fingers and pinching them together. And then I'll tap on it and then select the clipping mask. And now all of my squiggly lines are gold. And then I also want to add some like a gold dusting and some gold stamps to the wood as well. So I'm going to select that brush. If I can remember where I purchased this brush at, I will link it in the description as well. And then again, I'm going to go with black so that I can see. It doesn't matter what color you select because we're going to do a clipping mask again. So once I have the gold traces done, I'm going to select my glitter stamp, and then I'm going to just go through and stamp all of these where I want them. I'm going to click on the wrench, insert a file, go back down to the same gold that I used on the squiggly marks. Again, I'm going to size this down just a little bit and then duplicate it and then merge them together. And then I am going to select the clipping mask again, and then I now have the gold traces and the gold stamps, and I think this is going to be all I do with this one. I am going to merge these layers together and then do the clipping mask for the gold on top of the wood, just so that I don't have anything outside of my actual wood. So like if you wanted to cut this out on Design Space, you wouldn't have a bunch of little like dots that your machine would, you know, try to cut out. Once you have your background layer off, you are ready to save as a PNG. So go up to your wrench, click share, and then select the PNG, and then you're ready to save it to either your camera roll or to files. I save everything to files because I do work between my phone and my iPad, and with everything being on iCloud, it automatically updates, and I can, you know, go onto my phone and then update or upload my images to Etsy or wherever. I don't have an Easter file yet, so I just selected on my holidays file, created a new folder, and then I saved it there. So make sure that you guys if you haven't already, you have joined our Facebook group, Procreate for Beginners and Beyond, and make sure that you also like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you ever have any questions about anything, my inbox is always open, so do not hesitate to send me a message.